Hey guys, it's Drummond. So today's video is one that I never really wanted to make, but it has to be done, and I'm not really the type of person to throw all my problems out for the world to see, especially when it comes to relationships, but as you can tell from the title of this video, Matt and I broke up, and I've been off of YouTube for about 2 months now, and it's been rough, and I've learned a lot and grown a lot, and I just kind of wanted to make a video and put it out there because people have been asking about him and why the videos are gone and why he's not in my pictures on Instagram anymore, and I've gotten to the point where it's kind of a bitter taste in my mouth every single time someone asks about it, so I'm making a video so I can talk about it. And in no way am I trying to trash talk Matt in this video, because there are a lot of amazing things that happened in our relationship, but there are also a lot of crappy things towards the end, and ultimately that is why we are no longer together. A lot of you guys saw the video that I posted for our 1 year anniversary, and that was rough because I recorded that super excited to celebrate our 1 year together, and the day that I recorded it and edited it, he actually sent me a text that night, which was June 1st, telling me that he wanted to end the relationship. And honestly, at that time, I was not expecting it at all, and my entire body was just like in shock. Like, I was shaking and I couldn't sleep, and I just was sick to my stomach, and it really sucked. But it happened, and honestly, it was so damaging, and I didn't respond. There was nothing I could say. I was just like completely shocked. And 24 hours later, I just messaged him and I was just like, "You've ruined me." And then he messaged me telling me that he thinks he made the biggest mistake of his life and asked me to sit down and talk to him and discuss everything. And honestly, at that point, I was just like super happy that he wanted to talk about it, and I went and talked to him on my sister's birthday, which was June 2nd, and he said that it was a spur of the moment thing and that he'd been stressing a lot about different things, and that he just let it get to him, and that he wanted to fix things. And I was just like, okay, well, because of this, like, you've put so many insecurities into our relationship that weren't there before. And I was just like, you're going to have to be ready to deal with all of those insecurities that I now have. Because before, there's a lot of things that him and I disagreed upon, but I never felt like I had to worry about him disappearing. And for him to break up with me over a text message, it really just put the fear into our relationship that maybe he wasn't going to be around forever and that he would disappear. And it sucked to add that to the relationship, because even though we had lots of problems, I was never scared. And then after that, I was super scared, and it sucks when that happens. So what he ended up telling me was that he had been talking to his friend that lives down in Texas, and they were planning on him joining his real estate firm and him moving down to Texas. And he didn't want to talk to me about it because he didn't have all the details yet. And then it just got to the point where it was just like overwhelming, and he didn't think that I would go, which is weird because I had been begging him to like make plans with me for the future because he was graduating in December. And I was like, well, what do you want to do after you graduate? Like, I don't plan on staying here in Virginia. Like, I'd actually planned to leave. And then I met him, and I was just like, okay, I can stick around for a little bit longer, and I can stay here until he graduates, and then we can move together. But he was never really willing to talk about those things, and he told me that it was because it stressed him out, and that he had a really stressful semester, and that he just needed time to focus on his semester, and then we could talk about it later, which never really came. So it really frustrated me that he was willing to talk about future plans with his friend but not with me, especially since he wanted me to move with him. Then it got to the point where because he asked me to move to Texas with him after he broke up with me, now I'm just like, oh my gosh, Texas has never really been a place that I was looking into. And do I really want to move to Texas with someone who just broke up with me? Because now I kind of feel like if I move to Texas, I'm doing it because I'm afraid that the relationship might end if I don't say yes to this. And there was just so much stress put onto our relationship all at once after that. And there were just so many insecurities that were now happening inside of me. And I'm not really the type of person to have a lot of insecurities because I'm the type of person that works on all of those things and talks through things like that. The weird thing was he actually was the type of person that I could like feel when things were wrong. And there were so many times where I just felt things were wrong and I'd ask him about it and I'd never really get a clear answer. And it got really scary for me because I didn't feel like I was ever being told the truth. And that kind of started right from the beginning of our relationship. It was kind of something that you could kind of just see, and all my friends and all my family picked up on it. And they were just like, yeah, when he's upset, like you can tell. And it's just like a black hole just appears in the room. I just made tons of excuses for it, and I shouldn't have. I should have been looking at that right from the beginning. And I feel like my gut was telling me something was wrong, and it just started to like eat away at everything I was. So back in January, which was actually 6 months into our relationship, there was actually like a distance thing that I couldn't shake. And it was just weird because I just didn't feel like he was as close to me as he used to be. And I brought it up several times, and he told me like, oh, this semester that's about to start is really stressful. Oh, I'm on this new diet or new workout and it's making me tired and moody. And there was just always excuses, but they never really seemed to add up. And then after we got back together and then broke up and then back together and broke up, within weeks of it happening, he kind of told me that he had lost interest and attraction to me since January. And it was something that he kind of just kept to himself. And I wish at that time he would have just been honest with me, because I feel like I was lied to for 6 months, which is like half of our relationship. I feel like there was so many insecurities that popped up in my head because in January I also lost my job, and that was kind of something that I was just like, is he not like attracted to me anymore because I don't have a job right now? And then also something I was struggling with was my body. And honestly, I think that just happened because Matt was so into fitness, and he'd always talk about like himself and how he's working on himself and how he's upset with how much weight he's gaining or not gaining. And it got me to the point where like I was thinking that way, and I was just like, well, I'm the heaviest I've ever been, which was 198. And I was just like sitting there and I was like, maybe I'm not sexually attractive to him anymore. And it created this whole body image thing that really destroyed me. And it was something where I bought a scale and I literally checked my weight like throughout the day, probably 4 or 5 times a day. And it just was very unhealthy for me. And I feel like had he been honest and just been like, hey, so I don't think our relationship's going that well, maybe it could have been something that I wouldn't have had to have guessed and second guessed everything. And I was trying to put a puzzle together where I didn't have all the pieces because he never really told me everything. And I feel like even after like we ended things, I still feel like there's so many pieces of the puzzle that I don't have. But I've gotten to a point where I don't need the pieces of the puzzle to move on. I am able to love myself, which is actually really nice, because with all the things happening in the relationship, it just really brought out all my insecurities, and now I'm able to work on those, and it feels great. I feel like he kept a lot of things to himself, which made our relationship very one-sided, I feel, because he had all the cards and could choose what he wanted to do, which ultimately was ending the relationship because he didn't feel like it was benefiting him anymore. So I was going off of what I knew, and I thought our relationship was going well for the second 6 months, and the whole time I felt like he was like slowly moving away, and I was like slowly moving towards like a permanent relationship with him, and it really sucked because I wasn't given all the facts, and I still don't think I have all of them, but it is what it is. I have moved on. I'm in a happier place. I'm the type of person that when I'm in a relationship, I focus on all the good things, and I just want everything to be good. And when bad things happen, I'm just like, you know what? Bad things are going to happen. Let's keep focusing on the positive. And after a breakup, you really have to do the same thing. You don't want to focus on the good things in the relationship, but you want to focus on the good things that are still going on in your life. And honestly, ever since I made that mind shift, it's just like everything is kind of going right. I've had some car troubles which were kind of sucky, but hopefully we're over that now and things are getting better. I'm definitely in a happier place now, and I don't want anybody to be worried about me. I most definitely let my close friends know what was going on right when it was happening, so I had them here, including my sisters here, to like support me and help me through this hard time. It's crazy when you truly love yourself how easy it is to get over a breakup, because I feel like in the past I was kind of defining myself by my relationships, and when the relationship ended I was just like destroyed. And yeah, it sucked and it hurt a lot because I did love him, but I wasn't destroyed because I had built an identity which was my identity, and it wasn't like our identity. We had a relationship identity, but I still had my own. So when we broke up, I still had things that I wanted to focus on, which were like focusing on investing and saving money and learning how to do stuff in the stocks. And honestly, that has been like so amazing because I've had so much to like focus on, and I've been reading a lot of books and focusing on my life coaching company, which is starting to do really well, and I'm super excited about that. I just wanted to put this video out there for any of you guys who were wondering what was up with my life and why I haven't been posting on YouTube. If any of you guys have any questions, or if you guys are going through a breakup and want to talk to me, feel free to leave some comments in the comment section below. I love talking to you guys, and I really appreciate all the support because I've been getting nonstop comments and everything on my channel, even though I haven't been posting the way I used to. And hopefully I can get back to that. I know we're about to go into busy season and everything's just going to be hectic, but I'm going to try to post at least one video a week like I was doing before this whole thing happened. And I just want to thank everybody who's been there for me and reached out and asked me if I was doing okay, because some of you guys noticed that I took stuff down and some of you guys didn't. I will say that I've been keeping myself busy and doing stuff that I had originally planned to do this summer. I got to go down to North Carolina, which was awesome. I had made plans in the past to go down there and see Linville Falls and Grandfather Mountain, which I did get to do. They were beautiful. I'd actually gotten recommendations from this girl in Charlottesville. I was buying some hiking shoes because, gosh, my legs had been killing me every single time I went hiking. And she had recommended those two places in North Carolina. She was just like, oh my gosh, they're beautiful, you have to go. So I went down there and went hiking, which was amazing. It was nice to kind of get out of the state and just be around like happy, positive people, which was amazing. And then I just recently went kayaking, which is kind of why I'm burnt. You can kind of see like my tan lines. But I've been enjoying life. I've been doing things that I love, which is amazing. I haven't allowed myself to focus on anything negative, so a lot of positive things have been happening. So hopefully my next video will be coming from a better place, but I just wanted to kind of update you guys on my life and hope that you guys have been having a good summer so far. I know I have. But I will talk to you guys next week, and if you guys have any video suggestions or anything like that, feel free to leave those in the comments below as well, because I'm always up for recommendations. I've actually met a few other YouTubers, and hopefully we'll be doing some collabs here soon, so be looking forward to those, and I will talk to you guys next time. Bye.